Good day, everyone. I'd like to welcome you aboard our 1984 AmeriCruiser 2 MC9, the Coming Home Coach, and welcome to the first episode of the Back Roads U.S.A. podcast and tour. Thought you guys would like to ride along for a few minutes and see what the view from the windshield is on the old bus. In this video, we're heading down out of West Memphis, Arkansas, came through Tunica, Mississippi, heading down to Mobile, Alabama. I got to say, I was real impressed with the way the bus did. Handled great, rode good. Actually got some decent fuel economy out of it. So you guys enjoy the ride for a few minutes, and then we're going to get into some other things. I got some pretty cool stuff planned, so let's get her done today. Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the Back Roads USA podcast and tour. Hopefully we can keep you guys entertained for a little bit and maybe do some cool things, show you some cool things. So let me start out by telling you a little bit about the bus. It's a 1984 MCI MC9. This bus is 40 feet long. Approximate weight on it with the water tanks and everything we have in is probably around 30 to 32,000 pounds. I am going to put it on a cat scale when we get a chance and kind of get a better idea of where we're at on that. The overall length on this bus being 40 foot is kind of ironic, because if I park it right next to Freebird, my W900 Kenworth with a 346 wheelbase, bumper to bumper, they're the same length. So that's kind of interesting. The bus has a two-stroke 6V92 TA Detroit engine in it. Those were rated around 340 horsepower. It's got 390 rear ends and a 5-speed manual transmission. The bus it belonged to a gospel group. We picked it up. There's a lot to that story, but I started riding with Dad on the Greyhound when I was 5 years old. He started in 1965. My first trip was in 1970. And I kind of wanted to go back after a 40-year trucking career, which I'm not done with yet. But I just wanted to drive one of these buses again. And we found this one online, picked it up. It belonged to a group, like I said, a gospel group. And they had done a lot of converting on the inside. They did a good job, but there were other things that I wanted. So we tore a lot of the stuff out and restarted on it. Put some whiskey barrel flooring in it and took some of the bunks out to make more room, and just kind of made it our own and the way that we wanted it. So a lot of you have asked about what the inside of the bus looks like. So I'm going to jump off of here, grab a little video with my phone, do a little tour for you guys. And that way you can kind of see what it's like for us living out on the road with it. So let me do that, and then I'll get right back with you guys. The bus is a 1984 MCI MC9 series. Manufactured by Motor Coach Industries out of North Dakota. The driver's compartment is still pretty much all original. We tried to leave everything as original as we could. Yeah, she locks pretty tight. Driver's compartment here. As you can see, there's no frills, no luxuries, no cruise control, no Jake brakes, just the basics. Still has the air wipers on it. Dug up my dad's old Brownie 23 channel. He's the one who used to sneak on the bus. They weren't supposed to run CDs back in the day, but a lot of them did. Got a 5-speed manual transmission. Up there you got the crank to change the destination sign there, and then we have a tick list with all our destinations on there. And this is the lounge area. Got the recliner there, got a little couch, dining area, cooking area. Put the Emerald Lagasse dual zone air fryer in here because we do like to cook. Got our coffee maker. Clean up afterwards. Did something kind of unique here. I took some of my dad's old belt buckles and made some of my cabinet pulls for him. Just a little Greyhound touch there. Got the mason jar storage for coffee and things like that. 32-inch TV. Our sound system is the JBL 320 Bluetooth speaker. We just brought off the phone for that. A cabinet space here, microwave in there, Kick some lights on. Refrigerator, freezer there. We left the top bunk in. Made hanging clothes area down there. Just storage up there, baskets for socks and towels and things like that. Our cabinets with all our glasses, plates, etc. Running an 18,000 BTU rooftop air unit in right now. We may have to upgrade that a little bit. I think we're going to see about doing ceramic tint on the windows. I think that might help us out a little bit. That's going to be our little desk area and workstation in here. And on back, we've got the closet here. This is all our electrical and dirty clothes hamper, vacuum cleaner, all the stuff you like to keep hidden away. And then back to the master bedroom. Kick some lights on in here. We've got our shaving area here. Medicine cabinet. Hat rack, that's a necessity. We put a queen size bed in. Put 42-inch TV back in here. Left the escape hatches in the roof. I think that's a good idea. If you're back here in the back and something happened up front, you either want to bail out a window or bail out the roof in case there was a fire or something, which you pray there's not, but if there is. And this right here is our roughed in shower. We haven't got our shower in yet, so we've been relying on truck stop showers and like that while we've been out on the road, but that's soon to come, we hope. Then the important room, bathroom. But that's pretty much what we got going on here. And I will say it's very comfortable staying in here. I've been able to sneak back here in the back while Sean was driving a couple times, and it's pretty comfortable in the back. The bus is 40 feet long. It's not a 102, it's 96 wide. This was made before the 102s came out. 96 was as wide as you could legally go, and 40 foot was as long as you could legally go. Unlike a lot of the new RVs that have the slide outs and all that, they are a lot more roomier, but the thing that really appealed to us about the bus, well, obviously my history with my dad riding in the Greyhound when I was a young kid and everything, but these were made as line haul vehicles, so they were made to run down the road mile after mile after mile after mile and just keep on going, whereas a lot of today's RVs are kind of made for driving to a destination, hanging out there for the winter or something, unless you get into the big fancy coaches that are millions of dollars, and Lord knows I'm a truck driver, I definitely can't play that game. But anyway, we made this very much like home inside, and it's very comfortable. This thing rides like a dream. I'm just amazed at how good it rides. So anyway, that is a tour of the Coming Home coach. Now you all know how we live out here in this thing, and it's pretty cool. Right now we're taking a little break, but we're looking forward to getting back out. We have to go do a little bit of trucking. We had some work booked, so we got to go out and do a little bit of trucking, and then we'll get that little bit of trucking done, and we'll be back out here and getting after it again. Okay, hope y'all enjoyed the little tour of the bus there. Kind of maybe gives you a better idea of what it's like inside of here and what it's like for us while we're living in it. So we started this trip out. We went up to Lambert International Airport in St. Louis, and two people flew in. Jeff Swenson, founder and CEO of Line Haul Station, and our buddy Rob Johnston. Rob is a Landstar agent and lives out of the Milwaukee area, and we do a lot of work with Rob. And he's just become a good friend over the years. And when we told him what we were getting ready to do here, he thought it would be cool to jump on the bus with us and ride along. And I got to say, we had a great time. So we started out with the trip. We went down to the Line Haul Station in West Memphis. Jeff wanted to kind of show us what his plans were down there for the shared use truck terminal. And it looks like he's going to have some great things going on down there. We're gonna be watching him on that and anxious to see what he does with it. And then from there, one of the things that I said I was going to do on this podcast, but we were going to take people that were younger generation drivers, older generation drivers, past truck drivers, and let them drive the bus because it is a lot different from trucking. It's still a large vehicle and it handles like a large vehicle, but it's very unique. It's not at all like driving a tractor trailer. So Rob, who hadn't trucked since 1999, I had to do a little convincing to get him behind the wheel, but I did, and I actually got some video of it, and I do want to share that with you guys because we had a really good time with it, and we've got a lot of other people that we want to get behind the wheel, especially some of the younger drivers, because to only have the experience in the new trucks and then see what it was like for the drivers 40 years ago is quite a stark contrast. So one of the things, like I said, we're going to do is we're going to put different drivers behind the wheel, let them drive the bus and see what it was like. And so anyway, let me get that video pulled up of Rob driving the bus, and I'll share that with you. Hey, we're riding along here in the coming home coach. Yes, you heard me right. We're riding along in the coming home coach. We got Scooter down there on the floor. Sean sitting there drinking a Monster. And up here in the pilot's seat, we got Rob Johnston, who's been riding with us for a few days now. And I finally convinced him to get behind the wheel. So Rob was telling me earlier that he hadn't driven a truck since 1999. So we got a big steering wheel back in his hands and got that gear shifter thing going on. And so tell me, Rob, what do you think about driving the bus? It's pretty cool?
Pretty cool.
All right, yeah, he's having a good time here. Finding the gears, still finding the gears, but he's getting pretty good at it.
The downshifting.
So, yeah, the downshifting. He's got the upshifting dialed in. Downshifting still throwing him a little challenge, but he's doing pretty good with it. So anyway, just wanted to share this and let you guys see that we're kind of doing what we said we were going to do. Get some different people behind the wheel and let them see what it's like to drive a 42-year-old bus. I'll tell you, folks, that was fun getting Rob behind the wheel in here. And I've had a lot of inspiration, a lot of ideas on different things to do with the podcast. When we went to get the bus painted, we wanted to paint it to match Freebird, and my buddy Gary Jones hooked me up with Brandon Carpenter over at Carpenter Custom Trucks in Ashland, Ohio, and I called Brandon. I know that he has a long list of people waiting to get into his shop, but Brandon and Cheyenne, well, I can't say enough good about these people. They just, man, when we were anywhere close, passing through in the truck, we'd go over there to their place in Ashland, Ohio, and he had the bus sitting out there waiting to get into the shop. And over the winter, when the weather was just insanely brutal up there, Brandon let us plug in up there and run our space heaters in the bus, and we'd stop in there whenever we had time and work on the interior. Brandon and Cheyenne at Carpenter Custom Trucks and their crew went above and beyond on this bus. They worked some very late hours, and let me tell you, Cheyenne's painting skills are off the chain, man. She is an amazing painter. And I want to give just a big shout out and a big thank you to Carpenter Custom Trucks for what they did for us. Brandon saw my dream and helped me realize it. And then Chris Rowland, Brandon recommended him because he was local, and we had to do kind of a one-stop shopping thing on this. We were trying to get the bus ready to roll out for the Large Cars and Guitars truck show down in Bristol, Tennessee. And if you guys know who Tony Justice is, I imagine most of you do. That's the show that Tony puts on every year. And I want to give a big shout out to him for letting us come down and show off. And then big thanks to Evan Steger, too. Evan had the perfect parking spot where we were able to get the truck and the bus kind of in there together where one accented the other, and that was just awesome. And then Fought Signs over in Wooster, Ohio. Great folks to work with over there. They did all the vinyl work, doing the dogs and the tribute to Dad on the back window and everything. And then Chris Rowland came recommended by Brandon, and he did all the polishing on the stainless. Did an amazing job on it. I couldn't believe the way this thing shined after he got done with it. And when we were getting ready to roll this out, my friend Jen Peterson, who owns Production Trans Management down in Phoenix, Arizona, she stepped up and brought some money to the game to help us complete a couple tasks we needed to finish up. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about her later. But, when after we dropped Jeff Swenson off down in West Memphis, Rob Johnston, who is probably one of the most knowledgeable people I know when it comes to good bourbons, and we drank our fair share of it. I was able to talk Rob into jumping on doing a little interview with me. We just talked about past trucking experiences, bourbon, a little bit about gambling because we did a couple casinos on the way down. And Rob does an amazing amount of charity work. Just a great guy all the way around. And I was able to get him to sit down for a few minutes and do a little interview with me just to talk. I'd like to play that for you guys if it's all right. I think you might enjoy it. And yes, we were drinking a little bourbon, so if we got a little goofy, hey, we got a little goofy. But anyway, I'm going to play that for you now and let you see who Rob is. Hey, everybody. We are here on the Coming Home Coach. I would like to introduce my good friend, Rob Johnston. Rob is a Landstar agent. He's been with Landstar, ironically, about the same amount of time that I have, 24 years. So we picked Rob up at Lambert International Airport on the way down here to start the journey off. He said basically, let's just get on the bus and ride for a few days and have some fun. So we started out by going down to West Memphis with Jeff from Linehaul Station. And then we traveled on down into Florida. Well, we went down to Mobile, Alabama, did the battleship tour and everything. And then we've just been riding around in Florida. So, Rob, what do you think about riding around on a 42-year-old Greyhound bus?
Good afternoon, John. It's been quite an experience, and I've learned a lot about the old Greyhound buses. Well, they're not even old. I mean, 1984, I was only 18 that summer.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
But it's been an adventure, and we've had some great fun along the way. And John and I have known each other for many years, and we did get to meet one time for about 8 minutes. John came up to Milwaukee to pick up a special delivery package going out to San Diego for a very good friend of mine, Kenny Sikowski. And it was some German speakers that Kenny had finally found that he really wanted. And I was like, I'm not throwing these in the LTL world. I'm just going to hold on to them until I find a driver that's going that way. And John came up to Milwaukee, although it was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to go out and meet him.
Well, that's because John doesn't truck in the daylight hours.
So the other end of the story is when he pulled off the interstate I-5 just north of San Diego, it was pretty funny because they did the transfer on an exit ramp, and it's two really big boxes.
So, yeah, that close to the border. We were kind of wondering if we were going to attract any attention that we didn't want that night. Taking stuff out of the back of a tractor trailer at the wee morning hours on an exit ramp and transferring it to an SUV. But hey, we got away with it. Nobody showed up, so we pulled it off.
Well, they could have looked inside. All that was in there was speakers and a couple of furniture pads.
Yep.
I was able to unload a couple of my furniture pads. If anybody needs pads, I got a few more in the garage. Hint, when you stop in Milwaukee.
So anyway, we went down to West Memphis, spent a day hanging out down there. And then we went down to Mobile, Alabama, and we'll have some video coming up on that of the battleship tour we did and the park down there. And also, that is a place that is tractor trailer accessible. So when we get around to doing that part of the podcast, we will have a tab up on the web page, which is cominghome1965.com. And we'll have directions and everything on how to get in there with the truck, what the parking prices are, and everything that comes with it. So be looking forward to that because that is pretty cool. One of the things we're definitely going to do on this podcast is let truck drivers know where they can go and visit when they're out on the road. And a lot of times we get busy out here on the road. And Rob drove truck for, oh my God, you came off the road in what, 1999? You said
99. I came off the road. My daughter was born in January of '99, and my wife and I decided that it would be best if one of us was a stay-at-home parent. And after we talked about it, it turned out that it got to be me. So I am one of the few very lucky fathers that got to spend the first 3 years of my daughter's life as an at-home mom and dad, basically, if you will.
Truck driver that got to go home play Mr. Mom. How cool is that?
So. And selling my truck. Oh God, I wish I could remember his last name, but he had gone from a truck driver to a truck salesperson, and he sold my truck in '99, and it was a T2000. I was one of the guinea pigs on the T2000. I bought it in '97, the first year it came out. And he sold it for me for like $2,000 more than I was asking, and he had it sold in less than a month.
Nothing wrong with that.
And we didn't know anything on it, so that was good revenue for us at that time because we were just starting out with our family and a newborn baby girl and a nice mortgage on a house.
So after we left Alabama, we We did what we said we were going to do. We stayed on the back roads. We found every little skinny 2 lane we could find, and we trucked on down into Florida. There, we got down on 98. We stopped at Pensacola Harley Davidson because Rob wanted to stop, and I've been there before. I know he had too. So, yep.
This was from Pensacola, but this was from a gas station,
New,
ironically.
new apparel from Pensacola. And then from there, we just dropped down to 98 and just stayed along the coast, just rode along. We stopped in, let me see, today, what was the town we were just done with Kim and John?
Well, Newport Richie, Tarpon Springs, Hernando Beach.
Before that, the one that
Spring Hill.
Spring Hill. We stopped in Spring Hill, Florida. And we'll have some video coming up too. We let Kim and John Jakes both drive the bus. And if for those of you that follow along or don't follow along, the article that was just done in 10-4 magazine on me and the bus and the truck was written by Kim Jakes. So in fact, we're going to stop at Rainey's Chrome Shop on the way out and pick up some copies of 10-4. I haven't actually seen our article that's in the magazine yet. So Rob, I got to throw this out there. What was it like? So when we put Rob behind the driver's seat, hadn't been in a truck since 1999, and the bus doesn't shift anything like the truck. It does, but it doesn't. There's no tack in this old bus. It's strictly by trying to listen to the engine, gauge your speed, and just try to hit the mark. What do you think about trying to shift it?
Well, I tell you, John, with the engine 35 feet behind me, that is a big difference in listening to it. Luckily, I had the opportunity to listen to you, and I know that a few weeks ago we talked about me potentially driving it, and I was tickled to death and kind of stoked when you said, "Oh no, I got it registered as an RV. You don't need a CDL." And
right.
I had sadly let my CDL go several years ago, thinking I would never need it again, and kind of wished I had never done that. But anyway, long story short, John said it's registered as an IV, Rob, so you can drive it if you know how to drive it. So one of the things I did after him and I had talked a few times was I literally just listened to him and I listened to the motor. I got into it. My biggest challenge was downshifting. But I noticed, the old stop on a dime doesn't work in big trucks or buses.
Right.
And I noticed John stopping even sooner than I would. I mean, he was more cautious than I am. But after I got behind the wheel, I realized that, if you got to do a hard stop, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not.
You have to really anticipate, especially on state highways where there's lights. We're not stopping an eighth of a mile before. We're stopping a half a mile before.
Yeah. Got to anticipate the lights. You do.
And then, exactly, John, anticipating the lights that may change because those intervals. And in Florida, some lights are 5 minutes long and some lights are a minute long.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about Orlando because I was just in Orlando a few months ago. And I noticed in a rental car that the lights are like 4 to 5 minutes intervals in between when they change because there's so much traffic there.
Right.
And we looked up tourists in Orlando. I said, 3-4 million a year. Well, I was a little off. There's about 75 million tourists a year that visit Orlando.
Yeah, that number blew me away. I had no idea it was that high. No idea.
Mostly about 70 million domestic and about 5 to 6, maybe 6.5 million international travelers.
Right.
So that's an interesting fact about Orlando and on how busy they are.
Yeah. So we're sitting down in San Antonio, Florida right now, parked out in front of the Pilot Flying J. And we stopped here because we had a little bit of computer work to do and paperwork to do. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to get a bus wash at the Blue Beacon here. And then we're going to ride on into Orlando. We have a corporate event with Landstar down there we're going to. So we'll be spending a few days there. And I think we got everything set up for down there, got our room reservations and all that. Rob's going to hang out until, July 1st?
Yeah, I fly back to Milwaukee on July 1st.
Okay, yeah. And Rob is a bourbon guy. This guy he knows more about bourbon than anybody I've ever met. And yes, today we are sitting here having a couple bourbons. He brought me a bottle of Maker's Distillery Only, and it has to come from the distillery, which I thought was way, way cool. He brought it to me and he said, I only have one stipulation. I get a pour. I said, well, absolutely you do, man. So we had a shot of that the other night, and it was top notch. Very, very good bourbon. And then we stopped in Meridian, Mississippi at this little podunk liquor store. And he told me, he said, sometimes you hit these little podunk liquor stores, and they've got some stuff under the counter or behind the shelf or locked away. He said you find some rare finds. So, Rob, tell them what you found down there.
I found an Elijah Craig 18-year-old. I found Blood Oath, and I found Eagle Rare. And I should have left the Eagle Rare because, Eagle Rare is $40 for a bottle. If it would have been 12, that would have been epic. 12 is coming soon. Our distributors nationwide are telling us that Buffalo Trace is going to be releasing it soon, but it seems to be a major secret as to when it's actually going to hit and how retailers are going to sell it and distribute it to customers. Some will probably be a lottery, some might be a come stand in line and get a ticket.
Right.
I know Ray's Liquor Store in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, they had an allocated Ray's Liquor Store Sazerac Rye special, but it was Eagle Rare, and it was $60. So BCO by the name of Bob Mead, many of you know him as Laredo Bob. I woke him up on a Sunday morning to go get a bottle because it was one per person, and he goes, "Well, I don't drink that stuff, so lucky me, I got two bottles."
So our little podcast turned into a little bit of a bourbon buying run, but that's cool because we're into that. So that was a good thing. And then let me see what else did we do on this trip. We had a good time, and we really did.
We've been really having a good time. In Memphis was a lot of fun. I mean, I stayed at the casino, and being a gambling man, it's like, I like to gamble, and I like to gamble at my American Legion Post 434 in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, because it's penny machines. And if I lose, I don't lose a lot.
Right.
If I win, I don't win a lot, but I'm still supporting my veterans
Right.
and all the veterans affairs and everything that I've been involved with for many, many years. And
Right.
as a current commander of the Sons of American Legion and a president of the Lions, a past president of the Lions Club, I'm very actively involved in my community. But gambling at a casino is something different. For someone like me, I like to go in the high rollers room and spend 10, 15, $20 a spin. Well, the first time I went in, I stuck in a $100 bill and won $300.
Well, there you go.
And I stopped and I stopped. And I was like watching another friend of mine, Buzz Lovelace. And well, he had to go home that night, and I went back in there, and I wasn't so lucky the second time around. But I had fun.
It happens,
And,
man.
and you
It
got
happens.
to pay for your therapy. You got to pay for your entertainment.
That's right.
And
That's right.
but it was cool. And the hotel staff there at the Southland Casino in Memphis, Tennessee,
West Memphis, Arkansas.
West Memphis, Arkansas. Thank
Yep.
you, West Memphis.
Right across the border.
They have great security. They have an amazing staff. The rooms are super clean and very affordable. And the food is absolutely epic. Drinks are a little bit pricey. If you're going to have some cocktails, you're going to pay, but that's okay too.
And they do have tractor trailer parking around that.
Lots of tractor trailer parking.
And even though it's West Memphis, I get it. The tractor trailer parking is a little dusty, a little pothole. But if you're looking for a place where you want to go spend the evening in a casino, you can work around that.
If you want to spend a little money and have some good food and be treated with dignity and respect,
yeah, pretty decent.
I was
place.
and I've been in a lot of casinos all over the world, and this place I was in awe and left them a very good review. I was just I walked in one day early. I only reserved a room one night, and it was the next night. So I walked in and I said, "Hey, my reservation's for tomorrow, but can I stay 2 nights?" And the girl at the front counter, the front desk clerk, she punched it in. She goes, "Yeah, we have a room that you could have for 2 nights." And they honored the same price, which was discounted because I had a hotels.com user coupon.
Right.
And they honored the same price. So even better.
Beats the hell out of the petrol and the Flying J.
Yeah.
And now the competition is coming in down the street. Line Hall Station is just down the road. So we're going to stand behind Jeff Swenson on this Line Hall Station gig, and hopefully he gets this up and running. And if he does, you're going to have a really nice option in West Memphis and eventually other places around the country. So
I think that's a great concept. And when I was a driver, we didn't have any places like that. We had just general truck stops.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
really, that's what the drivers have today. And old school guys, and I'm not really considered an old school guy.
Right.
I will be 60 in September. And although I was a driver in the late 80s and 90s, we didn't have anything like this.
Right.
And Jeff Swenson has a vision, and I think that some people are really going to enjoy what he offers. And it's going to take time to build, and it's going to take time for word of mouth. But I think that marketing professionals like John Hiley can bring to the table what a business like that needs. And drivers that say, "Hey, I got to take my 34. That would be a great place to do it."
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The amenities are just going to be off the hook on this gig. It's just, we'll just have to sit back and give him some time and let him get all the T's crossed and the I's dotted and see if he can get it dialed in. If he does, if he gets this dialed in, guys, it's going to be something awesome for the trucking industry. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at right now. I just wanted to get Rob on here and talk to him a little bit in front of you guys and let you meet him because he's a pretty cool dude, man. We work on the phone almost every day together. Literally almost every day we're on the phone. But we had that one brief little meeting up there in Wisconsin that night, and then it was back to the phone conversations. And when my former agent at Landstar passed away, I'm not going to say I was homeless, but I didn't really know what I was going to do. And I called Rob up and I said, man, I know you got your board, but you do the kind of work that I do. And I said, if I get on your board, I'd like to come on with you if I can. And he didn't hesitate. He took me right into the fold, and we've been working together ever since, and hopefully made a few dollars together.
Yeah, and that's John. That's one of the things that I tell a lot of other drivers. Don't be discouraged to call me. Pick up the phone and call me. I'm not going to promise you anything, but I can promise you this for sure. I will see what I can do to help you be successful, even if it's not with me. Okay? Because I've never been about the money. I've never been about any attaboys or self glory. Without you as a driver, I'm worthless to my client. Without my client, I'm worthless to you as a driver. And I've lived by that philosophy all my life.
Yep.
And lucky for me, I've been pretty successful at Landstar and able to make a living and generate revenue that allows me to, go gamble at a casino once in a while and buy some two, three, $400 bottles of bourbon. In fact, back to the bourbon gig, they had a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle. If you know, you know. It was already gone. Not sure I would have bought it, depending on how old it was. If it was a 25-year for $2,000, yeah, I would have bought it. I might have turned around and sold it and donated the rest of the money to something else.
Right.
But there's no bottles of that in my collection. And I'm not a big time collector. I have some very good friends, Bruce Hubbard, Scott Johnson. Those are two of my brothers from another mother who have very extensive bourbon collections and far more knowledge than I do.
Right.
So I actually call them for advice on things to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
I'm that guy that's in that when I spend $70 or $80 for a bottle of bourbon, I feel like I'm kind of stepping up to the next level. I'm normally the $39 to $40 a bottle kind of guy, but I'm a Maker's Mark guy. Maker's is very affordable and very, very good. It's my favorite bourbon. So, but anyway, guys, we're gonna jump off here now. We got some other business to do today. I just wanted to get Rob on here for a few minutes, let you meet him, and tell you he's been kind of part of the first journey and been a lot of help on this, and we're just having a good time. So, you guys, stay tuned, and we got a lot of cool stuff coming around the corner. Everybody, have a good day and stay safe out there. Folks, I just wanted to say a big thank you again to Rob for coming along on this. Man, we had a blast with him. I learned a lot about bourbon, and I learned a lot about Rob Johnston. I did not realize how many charitable organizations he was involved with, about the veterans and a scholarship program they have, and just all kinds of amazing things. And, I'm going to tell you, when we'd stop for fuel or gas for the generator, Rob would jump right out with his credit card in his hand. Man, he was, it's easy to see why he has a reputation for being so charitable. He's just a super good guy, and man, we had a great time on this. Had a lot of laughs, a lot of laughs, and drank a lot of bourbon. But man, we hope that sometime in the future, maybe he'll jump on with us again and maybe go for another ride someplace. And I know we'd have a good time because we sure did have a good time this go around. And Rob, again, thanks, buddy. It was a blast, and I want to thank you for everything you did. Folks, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Jen Peterson. She has been a huge supporter of this show and podcast since the birth of the idea. Jen is over at Production Trans Management, your tour transportation specialist powered by Landstar. When the show can't stop, neither can your transportation partner. At Production Trans Management, a Landstar agent, TPO, they understand that every mile matters. With more than 10 years of experience as a Landstar agent, they built their reputation by delivering dependable, professional transportation solutions for the entertainment and production industries. They don't chase quantity, they prioritize quality. Their carefully selected fleet of experienced trucks and professional drivers is dedicated to ensuring your freight arrives safely, on time, and ready for the next stop. From concert tours and live productions to steel hauling and team driver expedited freight, they specialize in moving the loads that demand precision and reliability. They also provide transportation solutions for trade show exhibits, blanket wrap shipments, open deck freight, heavy haul and overweight loads, and other specialized commodities. No matter the cargo, their commitment remains the same: exceptional communication, experienced drivers, and transportation you can trust. When your business depends on flawless execution, partner with a team that understands the importance of every deadline. Production Trans Management, experience, reliability, and performance on every mile. Well, folks, that's going to be a wrap for the first episode of the Back Roads USA podcast and tour. Thanks for coming along today. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Our next episode, we'll be traveling down to Mobile, Alabama. We'll be taking a visit to the Battleship Memorial Park, spending some time down there, and then our ride down into Florida, and then hanging out with Kim and John Jakes. And if you don't know Kim, she's the one that did the article on us in 10-4 magazine, and her husband John had one of the coolest Kenworths in the country there. And anyway, they're both retired now, but we stopped down to see them and let them take a little drive on the bus. So that'll be on the next episode. And thanks again for riding along today. We sure enjoyed it.